In this video, we're going to walk through how multi-agent workflows work in OpenClaw and how to build one. The core idea is simple. As workflows get more complex, a single agent becomes unreliable. It has too many responsibilities, too much context, and too many decisions to make. The solution is to split the workflow across multiple specialized agents, coordinated by an orchestrator. We'll go through how an OpenClaw agent is defined, how multi-agent workflows work, and how to build one step by step. In OpenClaw, an agent is defined by a workspace. A workspace is just a folder with a set of files that define how the agent behaves. Agents.md defines the role, responsibilities, and boundaries. Tools.md defines what tools the agent can use. Soul.md defines tone and general behavior. Together, these files determine what the agent does and how it behaves. A simple way to think about it is, the workspace is the agent's environment. The instruction files define how it operates. The tools define what it can do. Single-agent workflows or specialized agents can be built by simply customizing the workspace. A single agent becomes unreliable when it is asked to do too many things. For example, it has to interpret requests, gather context, decide what to do, use different tools, and review its own output. As the agent takes on more steps, the context grows and large contexts degrade LLM performance. This leads to drift, missed instructions, and inconsistent outputs. A multi-agent workflow splits this into smaller, more predictable parts. For example, one agent handles research, one agent prepares structured data, one agent performs actions. Each agent has a narrow scope and clear boundaries. This improves reliability and makes the system easier to reason about. Multi-agent workflows are useful when the work has clear stages, when different steps need different tools, or when you want explicit control over each step. They are not necessary for simple tasks. In a multi-agent workflow, an orchestrator agent controls the flow of work between agents. It receives the initial request, decides which step comes next, delegates work to specialist agents, collects results, and decides whether to continue or stop. The orchestrator should not do specialist work itself. OpenClaw supports two main agent patterns. Persistent specialist agents are named agents with their own ongoing session and history. They are best when an agent has a stable role in the workflow. For example, a research agent that enriches every inbound lead and returns a consistent JSON structure. These are delegated to using sessions_send. Temporary agents are short-lived and created for one specific task. They are useful when you want isolated execution without building long-term history. For example, transforming a single document into a specific format and then discarding the session. These are created using sessions_spawn. When the orchestrator delegates work, it sends a structured payload and expects a structured response. The handoff should define required input fields, expected output structure, and what happens if data is missing. If this is not explicit, the workflow will be inconsistent. Now we'll build a simple workflow. An inbound lead is received. A research agent gathers company and contact context. A CRM agent prepares a structured CRM payload, and the orchestrator controls the flow between these steps. Let's ask OpenClaw to create the required agents for us. We can hand it a prompt that creates the three agents: research agent, CRM agent, and orchestrator. Research agent gathers company/contact context and returns structured JSON. CRM-agent prepares CRM payloads and returns missing fields. Orchestrator routes work between the two and does not perform specialist tasks. Each agent has a clear purpose. Each agent defines inputs and a structured output format. Each agent has explicit boundaries, what it must not do. Each agent has a limited toolset in tools.md. The orchestrator defines which agent to call and when. After generation, we can open the workspaces and quickly verify the files look correct and make small adjustments if needed. Now we can test the workflow end-to-end. Start a chat with the orchestrator agent. This is the entry point for the workflow. Provide the input lead in the expected format. At this point, the orchestrator receives the raw input. Its first step is to normalize or transform that input into a structured payload that matches what the research agent expects. Next, the orchestrator calls the research agent using that structured input. It sends the request and then waits for the response. The orchestrator then calls the CRM agent, providing the enriched lead data returned by the research agent. Finally, the orchestrator collects this result and returns a final response to the user. At each step, the important thing to observe is that each agent is doing one specific job, and the orchestrator is only responsible for routing and sequencing. Thank you very much for watching.